All this dancing around whether or not there was a phone call to Nancy Pelosi indicates that you now and the White House believe that
I'm not really dancing around it. I'm just telling you that.
well, look, you created this artificial filter that you're not going to read out. We're not asking for readouts. We're asking, did he pick up the phone and did he talk to the #1 Democrat in the House that just stabbed him in the back on TAA? That's a real simple question.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
And I'm telling you that the White House Chief of Staff picked up the phone and called her on Monday.
You know that.
And the president has made a large number of calls.
Right. We're not asking about a large number of calls to people who are slightly less relevant to resolving this than the minority leader of the House. That's all we're asking about. Did he call her? Yes or no?
Major, I guess let me question one, I think, a premise of your question that is open to some scrutiny, which is
open to scrutiny.
they are. It's the nature of the job. The people who are most relevant to trying to find this path forward are people who are part of the bipartisan majority that have allowed this legislation to advance. That's why the president has frequently been on the phone with both the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader in the Senate. It's why
he hasn't been on the phone with Pelosi.
But again, Major, she doesn't want the legislation to advance.
You can call her, right?
I'm not going to read out every conversation that the president has.
For a readout.
Okay, that's fine.
But a readout is not the same as confirmation.
Major, I'll look into it, but I don't know this is a fruitful exercise.
It's not an irrelevant question. It's not an illegitimate question.
I didn't say that it was.
Can you answer?
I do think, though, that I think the premise of why you think this is so important, though, is open to significant questioning.
Question the premise all you want. Just answer the question.
Okay.
Well, you
So,
have to assume
all right,
the
let's
answer is
move on.
no.
You can assume whatever you'd like.
Okay.
But isn't that a fair assumption?
Okay.
So-
Well,
so
have we
then-
exhausted this, or can I move on?
So then, to take your last point, is the Senate now the place where this has to be reevaluated and a new legislative strategy has to be formed?
Not necessarily. There's a bipartisan majority for,
Why not?
again, because there's
The
a.
House appears to be stuck. If you ask them, they say they're sort of stuck.
Okay. Can I try to give an answer?
Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. The only legislative strategy that the President of the United States will support is a strategy that will result in both TPA and TAA coming to his desk. There are a variety of proposals that have been floated both in the House and in the Senate for successfully doing that. Any strategy that will succeed among those variety will require both Democrats and Republicans to support it. I do not have a lot of optimism, that you should check with Leader Pelosi, that she will be supportive of any of these strategies. I would anticipate that a number of the Democrats, maybe even all of the 28 Democrats in the House who did vote in favor of TPA, would likely cooperate with that kind of strategy, but they're going to be in close consultation with both the President and the White House as they consider those strategies moving forward. But ultimately, this will have to be a decision that's made by the Senate Majority Leader and the Speaker of the House. But they're going to do it in close consultation with Democrats because they know that Democratic support will be required for the success of the strategy.